guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to a life reset, very introverted style, staying at home, healthy habit reset, getting my life together, just the ultimate reset day, but in a very soft and kind fashion. Looking forward to it. I feel like since we've got home from Florida in May and getting married, I've just been in a big slump. And day to day, I'm fine. Like, I'm happy. All is good now. I feel like the wedding blues are done. I just really need a day to get my life together. I slept like an actual baby last night. I love our new bed so much. I feel like it's normal to be like, oh, I miss my bed when I'm like out of town on a trip. But that was the first time I actually missed like our bed setup, if that makes sense, and not just like sleeping in your own bed. I had a really good night's sleep and I got up early this morning, which is kind of what I wanted to get back into the habit of. Early for me is like 7 a.m. Feeling good about that. You guys saw I chugged a bunch of water when I woke up, made myself a coffee, and I was actually really hungry when I woke up, so I'm just like listening to my hunger cues, and I made myself some rice cakes with banana, peanut butter, and like a little bit of honey. I have a few things I really for sure want to get done today. I just really want to do a big tidy up. There's just a few spots in the house that are cluttered and just need to be organized a bit. I also would like to not reorganize my bookshelves, but just put some books back. I put books aside like during the month for my book wrap up, which I'm also going to do in this video for you guys. That way I can just kind of put them away on the shelf. So I'd like to do that, kind of tidy up the library room. I also want to like clean my makeup brushes, unpack. Catch up on like bookkeeping and computer work, just all that kind of stuff. And then I figured I would share with you guys my summer bucket list, because I'm not going to set goals for the summer. That's something new I want to do, is just like take the summer off from goal setting. I feel like it's just been already a really big year between hitting 100K and getting married, that like if that was like all I achieved this year, not all, but like if that's what I achieved this year, like that's great. I'm totally fine with that. So I've kind of been struggling with what to set going forward, because I want to balance like enjoying the current, enjoying the moment that we're in, like the present moment, but then also goal setting. And sometimes I feel like goal setting doesn't allow me to focus on the present. It's just always like what's next. So I'm gonna take a break for the summer and just kind of refocus and enjoy life and enjoy like newlywed life and just all the fun stuff we have this summer. I'd love to do like just a lot of reading and relaxing throughout the day too. I've talked about this before. I think that it's okay to be productive. Like we have to be productive. We have to get things done sometimes, but there is like a healthy way to do it. So you guys will see me just relaxing a lot throughout the day too. It's a really gloomy day today. It's not supposed to rain, but it's gloomy, which kind of feels like the perfect day to get my life together, because when it's sunny, I just want to like sit outside and read, which obviously is totally fine. But I really just need to like put my headphones in, put my head down, and just take a day to just get it together. So that's what we're gonna do. But I'm going to sit and eat my breakfast, drink my coffee, just kind of like enjoy some time to myself. We'll head upstairs and we're gonna make the bed, because listen, that is a habit I've been really bad about, is making the bed, and I want to get back on it, because that's one of those habits that's really important to Matt. Like Matt really likes when the bed is made. I don't really care so much. Let me know down below, are you a bed maker or not a bed maker? Because I just think you're gonna sleep in it the next night. What's the point in making it? But Matt likes when the bed's made. So that's like one of those habits I could do for him. It's not worth the argument, you know? So we're gonna go upstairs, make the bed, tidy the bedroom and all that. But I'm going to enjoy my breakfast first. Maybe watch a little YouTube. And yeah, welcome to a new vlog. Cheers. Got a little bit ready for the day. I feel like it just helps me feel put together, and I honestly feel like I get more done when I'm just like even a little bit ready for the day. And you know, when you rediscover something in your closet that you've kind of forgotten about, that's me with this Lululemon oversized t-shirt. I've had it for a few years. I honestly kind of forgot about it. It was like in the bottom of like my activewear like box, and now I can't stop wearing it because it's so lightweight and breathable for the summer, because it's like a very thin material compared to like if you buy, let's say, like a vintage tee or you thrift a tee, it's usually that like thicker cotton material. So I love this for summer. I also just made the bed. I'm very proud of myself. That's a habit I'm trying to get back into. And now that we've had our bed for a little bit, I wanted to give you guys a bit of a review. I have never gotten so many DMs before on like reviewing something, or if I had a discount code. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. And I got you guys, I do have a code. I'll share it with you in a minute. I've told this story before, but I'm going to say it again because I just think it's a very like meant to be to work with Helix Sleep on this video. So as you guys know, our previous mattress was about 20 years old. It was from Matt's childhood bed, like back home. And we also had a queen, and you guys know we have 2 dogs, one of which sleeps with us is allowed to sleep with us, and the other one crawls in the middle of the night because she knows we're asleep and we won't hear her. So we have 2 dogs and 2 humans, and it was a tight squeeze with the queen. So we were starting to look into getting a king, and I did research for months, probably like 6 months, in terms of like the best mattress for us. I wanted a company that had a longer sleep trial because I just felt like 30 days wasn't really enough. A ton of reviews like on Google, on Reddit, like you name it. I wanted to hear what like people actually thought about the product. And I remember I was sitting at a coffee shop and I had just taken the Helix Sleep quiz. Like, oh, okay, perfect. I got matched with the Midnight mattress, and I was like gonna put it in my cart, see if there was a discount code, and then see if we could like fit it into the budget or we could save up for it. And then in that moment, my team texted me and was like, hey, are you interested in working with Helix Sleep? And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I remember texting Jess back being like, this is really freaky, but I just put the mattress in my cart and I had just taken the sleep quiz. So I just figured it was meant to be to work with them. And we honestly love this mattress so much. If you've never heard of Helix Sleep before, they are a premium mattress company that's customized to fit your needs, which I really appreciate. I think sometimes with mattresses, you just like buy a mattress and it's not really customized to like how you sleep, and I really love that. They offer a sleep quiz, like I mentioned, which you basically just fill out you, and if you sleep like with someone else, their needs, how you sleep on your side, on your back, if you're a warm sleeper, if you have any back pain, etc. That was something that I was really trying to actually figure out where it came from. I've been having a lot of lower back pain for the last probably 6 months or so. We started sleeping on this mattress, it completely went away. So I think it was just because we were sleeping on a really old mattress. I have over 20 different mattresses, which is amazing. There's truly something for everyone, and they conveniently ship to your door, which is great because we obviously just have cars. We don't have an SUV or a truck. So it'd be a little difficult getting a mattress from a store to our house. It's rolled up in a box and it's super easy to set up. Like I mentioned, I vlogged that process of setting it up, and I'll put some clips in here so you guys can see how easy it was. Helix Sleep offers one of the longest sleep trials, 100 nights, which I feel like it's great because it really lets you test the mattress out and ensure that you love it. Also comes with a 10-year warranty. So far, we absolutely love it. We got matched with the Helix Midnight, and I'm gonna like read you what it says just in case you feel like that might be a good fit for you. So this is the most popular model because it offers a medium memory foam feel with just enough pressure relief for your hips and shoulders inside sleeping positions, and it's a 5 to 6 on the firmness scale. And that was really important for us. Matt prefers a harder mattress and I prefer a softer mattress, so I knew that we'd probably meet in the middle with like a medium firmness, and it's honestly been great. It's also light on temperature, which I didn't like really understand how that could be for a mattress, and I really don't know how to explain it other than the fact that like the mattress feels very cooling. Matt and I are both very heat sensitive when we sleep, and I think it has to do with having the dogs in the bed. I feel so cool with the mattress. I don't know how to explain it. I've just been having the best sleep with our Helix Sleep mattress. A lot of messages asking if I had a discount code. A lot of you guys are also in the market for a mattress, so I highly recommend taking the Helix Sleep quiz just to see which mattress would be best suited for you and your needs. And they're actually running a 4th of July sale all month long, so I'll put my link in the description for you guys to shop if you're interested. Like I said, take the quiz and kind of see what's out there for you. The sale is 30% off Luxe and Elite mattresses, and it comes with 2 free pillows or 25% off site-wide for the rest of their items. So a huge thank you to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. I'll keep you guys updated too throughout the months. Maybe we'll do like a 6-month check-in to see how we feel about the mattress, but I'm sure we're gonna keep loving it because it's honestly amazing. And now that we've slept on this, I'm like, wow, we really had been needing to upgrade our mattress for a while. Yeah, but I'm gonna go downstairs now that I've made the bed and probably make a to-do list for the day, just like write everything out since it is kind of the beginning of the week. Then I think I'm probably gonna unpack because I feel like it's like the domino effect from unpacking. Like then I can do laundry, then I can wash my makeup brushes, then I can put everything away, clean my suitcase off, and then we'll kind of get into like tidying the house and all that stuff. All right, you guys, let's clean these makeup brushes. I just use a towel. I do have a makeup brush like cleaner, but it's not big enough. Not that I have a lot of brushes, but it doesn't fit all my brushes. So I just use a towel. And then because I'm very acne prone, I use my facial cleanser to wash my brushes. You don't need a special brush cleanser, I promise. So I wet the brush, put some water in my hand so that it's like wet for the cleanser. And then I put some cleanser in my hand and I just kind of clean it like this. I don't know. It obviously works. Can you see that? It's like gross. I'll try and clean my brushes at least once a week. And then then she's clean. And then I just repeat the process with all my brushes. Talk about the perfect pour. I just made myself a little green smoothie with spinach, kale, yogurt, protein powder, collagen, and some tropical fruit. I feel like smoothies are the easiest way for me to get greens and fruits in and during the summer, and just like protein, because I really struggle to eat when it's hot out. So cheers. Gonna have this literally like the perfect color green. My hair is getting flatter by the second. This is only day 2, so I don't really know what's going on with it, but I'm just finishing off that smoothie because, like I said, I really just like struggle to eat in the summer with the heat and stuff, and so this is just a great way to pack in. I feel like I have to do very like volume. Can I talk? Bigger? I have to do more volume meals to pack in stuff because I struggle. I'm going to throw my headphones on with like a podcast or a YouTube video and do a round of like cleaning and organizing. I've shared this before on Instagram, but I've been doing like 1 hour Sunday resets, which then translated into like 1 hour resets every day, which has been really, really beneficial for us, because we noticed when we moved from the condo to this house that we just have so much to do around the house that we don't really have time for a Sunday reset anymore. Like in the condo, we would religiously Sundays do groceries, clean, all that jazz, and now we just don't have the time to do it with all of our projects and just everything. So instead, after work every day, because I have about an hour until Matt comes home, I'll spend that hour cleaning, organizing, decluttering, doing laundry in a different room every day. So like one day I'll do the bathrooms, one day I'll just like tidy up the whole house, one day I'll do a deep clean of the kitchen. And it's been really, really helpful because then when the weekend comes, we can actually enjoy our time, we find. So I've been sharing a lot of those like little quick resets over on Instagram and TikTok. Obviously today is my day off. It's like my Sunday. I am not going to do it after work. I'm just going to do it now. I like to do it to break up the day on my days off. I think I need to tidy up the spare bedroom, my office, and then a little bit of our bedroom, like just our dresser and stuff. And I might have some laundry to put away. So I think I'm going to set a 45-minute timer, get it done, and then take a break. I feel like the key to being productive and like having a healthy relationship with being productive is knowing that like you're gonna have days where you have to get shit done. Like that's just obvious, right? Taking breaks in between really, really helps me. I know for some people that might not, because like if you sit on the couch, you might not want to get back up, but I'm pretty good at being like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take a break and read. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take a break and watch a YouTube video. I've just been sitting here watching some vlogs on my computer, and then my computer died. So I was like, this is a sign to get up and do something. I made my to-do list. I kind of just added on to last week's to-do list, which I didn't even check anything off last week. I did do the things, but I didn't check them off. So I need to do that, because when I stare at this, I just feel overwhelmed thinking there's a lot to do, but there's not. It's just because I haven't checked things off. It feels nice to be unpacked, wash the makeup brushes, all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's always the first thing I have to do, is just like unpack, get everything out of the way, even if it's just like a little short trip like I went on. Put these headphones on and get to it. was gonna say my speed cleaning. I guess it is speed cleaning. My round of speed cleaning and decluttering and organizing is done. I always feel like I get more done. Like I get the same amount of stuff done in 45 minutes, or like when I set a timer and then I do the whole day, because when I have the whole day I procrastinate, I do other things. And I feel like if I tell myself like, okay, you literally just have to clean up the house for 45 minutes or an hour, I get so much done, because I'm like, that's it, that's all I have to do, and after this I can relax. And I actually I get so much done. So I highly recommend trying it if you haven't already. I got so many random things done that I didn't vlog because they're gross, but like the dogs like food mat and water mat was so gross, so I was like, you know what, I'll just clean that. Really happy with everything we got done. I created like a little, I called it High Vibes Summer little mood board. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. And that also helps me kind of make my bucket list. And sometimes you can even look up like the season that you're in the bucket list, like summer bucket list, fall bucket list. A lot of stuff comes up, which is great because I kind of suck at making those myself. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I think I'm going to take a break from goal setting just for the next month or two, honestly, maybe until September. I just feel like I've achieved, like not in a like cocky way, but like I just feel like getting married was obviously such a huge thing, and then hitting 100K is something I've been working towards for years, that I'm just so happy with where I am now, and I just want to enjoy that and cherish the present. And I just don't know what my next goals are going to be, so I'd rather just take the time to really think about them and reflect rather than setting just like random goals to set goals. And I just want to enjoy summer. Obviously 2 summers ago we were renovating the condo. Last summer we were looking for a house. I just want to enjoy this summer to the fullest. We're so close to the river now, and so many small towns, and we have friends coming to visit, and our reception and all that stuff, and I'm just so excited. So I made myself a little bucket list. I've been kind of working on it for the last few weeks, and I'm really excited about it. Obviously I don't have to achieve everything on this list, but I think it gives us some fun ideas too for like dates. Sometimes it'll be like a Saturday and Matt will be like, hey, I want to go do something, and I'm like, same, but then we never go do something because we don't know what to do. I'm pretty sure we can get all of these done because I like to do a lot of solo day trips, you guys know, and then I thought it would be fun for like Matt and I on like a Saturday or a Sunday do a little day trip. So I have Almont, which I did a solo date to Almont last year. I'll probably do that again, or maybe bring Matt, I'm not sure. I've never been to Westport. Westport's like a cute little beach town, I think about 2 hours past Ottawa. And then Gananoque. Once again, we've been to Kingston. I've been to Gananoque like once or twice, but I want to explore the town. They have a good flea market and some antique stores. So those are some of the day trips that I want to go on this summer. And then here's the actual list. So I have try 5 new coffee shops, and this doesn't have to necessarily be in Ottawa, just trying 5 new coffee shops. I feel like Ottawa does have a decent amount of coffee, but I've actually been to every single coffee shop in Ottawa. Honestly, I've explored like every part of Ottawa, and there's a lot of chains in Ottawa. So we have like a lot of Happy Goats, Little Victories, Bridgehead. So we have a few local chains, which is amazing. But I have had every coffee in Ottawa, specifically in all the suburbs. In the outskirts, I'm still checking off a few, but you guys know Matt and I are very passionate about our coffee. I get that from my dad. I have a few more on the outskirts in small towns to check off, but I'd like to try 5 more. And even if that means like going to a new small town, or going to a small town we've been to try a new coffee shop, I think that would just be like fun, and I love coffee. Find a new farmer's market. There's a few near us in like neighboring small towns, so I'd love to go to a new farmer's market. Have 5 beach days. We're only a few minutes from the St. Lawrence, and so we're really excited to have beach days. We just haven't had one yet. We've been so busy, but I'd like to have 5. I just found out on Facebook there's a local winery in the area that does like drive-in movies, so I wrote go to the drive-in. We also have a water park in Ottawa. Technically it's in Embrun, but in the Ottawa area, I think it's like Canada's largest water park or something. Maybe not. Matt and I actually went on one of our first dates there. Oh, Canada's biggest theme water park. And like, listen, give me some chicken tendies and let me sit in a lazy river all day and I'll be so happy. So I thought that would be really fun, maybe for like our birthday weekend or something. I wrote attend an outdoor concert. Buy paddleboards. I love paddleboarding, and since we're, like I said, so close to the river, I would love to pick up some inflatable paddleboards and have some. Make s'mores, have a campfire in the backyard. We do have a fire pit, so I'd just like love to get it cleaned up a little bit, get some Adirondack chairs out there and have a campfire. I wrote have our neighbors over for dinner. We're pretty close, like, and friendly with our neighbors. We chat to them all the time, but I'd love to have everyone over for dinner because obviously we moved in November and it was getting chilly. We did have our one set of neighbors over. We hosted them for Christmas Eve just because we didn't want them to like be alone. They are like older. I don't think they have any kids in town, but I'd love to have everyone over for a barbecue, watch the sunset at the beach, go to the spa. My boss, I've talked about this before, I have the best boss ever, but he is just the kindest person ever, and he actually got Matt and I spa passes for the day, I think for Christmas maybe, and we haven't used them yet, so I would love to go to the spa. Going to the spa in the summer is actually really, really nice. Matt and I did that once again for one of our first dates because we started dating around our birthday. I'd love to go do like a little spa day. I put create a photo album. I really have been struggling to find like a nice photo album, but I really want to start printing off photos. Obviously we have like our wedding photos, but just printing off photos and making a photo album, but I have yet to find a good album. So let me know if you guys know where to get one that's like not cheesy. I have explore a new trail, and then I have try 3 new local restaurants. We have a decent amount of small towns like around us that have a lot of great restaurants, and I have a list, so it'd be fun to kind of like jump on it maybe like once a month. We could do like one in July, one in August, one in September. That is my bucket list for summer. I feel like it's like a fun, affordable bucket list, and I'm excited to see what we get done. We've made bucket lists the last 2 years, but just with how busy we've been, I don't think we really got anything done. So I'm really excited to see kind of like what the summer has in store. Okay guys, I don't know how long this vlog is so far, so I'm gonna try and make my review as quick as possible, but you guys know me, like when I start talking about a book, you can't shut me up about it. So I'm gonna open my Storygraph. I get asked all the time if I have Goodreads, what my Goodreads account is, and I use Storygraph. I just prefer the features. You can also give point or like quarter stars, so like 3.25, 3.75 stars. I don't think Goodreads does that, and I know Goodreads has had a lot of improvements in the last few years, but it just used to be really glitchy and the interface used to not be so great. Now it's probably a lot better. So I just started using Storygraph, and I just like prefer the layout and the challenges and the trackers and stuff. So in June, I read 9 books and I read 2,599 pages. I read 100% fiction, obviously, and my top genres were thriller and romance. And my average rating was a 4.1, so that's a pretty high month. There's that, but I always have my Storygraph username in the description. Now let me pull up my little tracker. I use Notion to track all of my books and reviews and stuff like that, and I just have a database where I just track my 2024 reads, and if you open it up, it has like the genre, the rating, and then my thoughts on the book. So that way, when I'm reading a book or as soon as I'm done, I can write all my thoughts down so I don't forget. First book I read in June was Funny Story by Emily Henry. I ended up giving this 5 stars, and I didn't write anything down for this book, which is crazy. Okay, what did I think of this book? I think Emily Henry is one of those authors for me that her books get better every single time. First time I started enjoying her books was Book Lovers, and then I did really enjoy Happy Place, and I really liked Funny Story. I will say it took me till about 30% to get into this book. I remember texting Mo at like the 30% mark being like, I'm really not too sure if I'm liking this, and the first 30% was kind of meh, and then I really started to enjoy it. I also feel like I just have a really deep appreciation for Emily Henry and how she writes her female main characters. It's very complex and they have so many layers, which I love. I just feel like so many contemporary romance books nowadays are very fluffy and the characters have no depth to them. You either, I feel like, really love Emily Henry or you don't, and that to me is because I think a lot of people are going into it with the wrong impression. Like, this is a blend of women's fiction and romance. Same thing with Ashley Poston for me. It's not like a very fluffy rom-com book. You go into it knowing it's a mix of like women's fiction, contemporary fiction with a subplot of romance, you'll enjoy it, but it's not just like fully a romance book. Next is The Off Season by Amber Cowie. I had never heard of this author before, and the premise really intrigued me. I picked this up. I'm actually working with Indigo for the next 2 months over on TikTok. I did like a little book shopping vlog and I picked this up. It was a new release. Honestly, it was decent. I'd say if you're a fan of Lucy Foley, you'll really enjoy this. Documentary filmmaker Jane Duval stays at a remote hotel during the off-season with her new contractor husband Dom and his daughter. Surrounded by an immense forest and the mighty Fraser River, Jane wants nothing more than to bond with her new family, but she's unsettled by the cold, quiet presence of the hotel's owner, who is overseeing the renovations. Jane uncovers secrets that make her wonder exactly who she married. I ended up giving this 3 stars. The premise, like I said, is really unique, but it just kind of felt like a very mid thriller for me. It was super sluggish in the middle, and it was one of those books where I feel like either a lot of plot twists works really well, or it confuses the heck out of the reader, and this was just the latter. Like, I was just so confused with all the plot twists and I couldn't keep up with them. It was also just like way too many characters to keep track of, which is why I feel like if you enjoy Lucy Foley books, you would enjoy this, because I tend to not enjoy Lucy Foley books because there's just like too many characters and POVs to keep track of. But yeah, not bad, not great. Then Redemption. I picked up Mary Kubica's newest thriller, She's Not Sorry, and I loved this. I gave this 5 stars. I think I read this in like a day. I feel like one of the things I love about Mary Kubica thrillers is that she's able to successfully weave in multiple dark storylines without it getting confusing. And this was just like a good whiplash thriller. I feel like every time I do book reviews, I always either jump between the synopsis first or the review, but I was just so excited to tell you guys about this book. This is about an ICU nurse and her name is Megan. One day while she's working, this patient comes in named Caitlin who was like pushed off a bridge, or they think she committed suicide, and Megan is taking care of her. And then it just says Megan has always tried to stay emotionally detached from her patients, but this time she mistakenly lets herself get too close until she's deeply entangled in Caitlin's life. Only when it's too late does she realize that she and her daughter could be the next victims. And props to Mary Kubica, who like weaved together these 2 timelines and these 2 stories so perfectly. I could not put this down. I really, really enjoyed it. And I read Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. This was our book club pick for the month. I have an in real life book club with some of my girlfriends. This is about a young Cree woman. Her name is Mackenzie, and she moves to Vancouver from her like small town because her sister passes away and her kokum, which I believe is grandfather. She starts having these weird dreams, and her dreams and reality are starting to blend together. Decides to go back home to kind of try and figure out why her like dead sister's in her dreams. It was marketed as a thriller horror book, so I went into it with the expectation that it was going to be like spooky and like edge of my seat thriller. However, it was definitely more of an exploration of grief and more literary fiction in my opinion. I feel like because I went into it thinking it was a thriller slash horror book, I just kept waiting for something to happen. I feel like the author was really good at like capturing the initial suspense. Like from the get-go, page 1, I was so intrigued by the book, but then it almost went from like a thriller horror book in the first 50 pages to like just straight literary fiction. I just felt like the pacing was all over the place, and I really did enjoy the Cree folklore in the book. Like I really enjoyed learning about that and the strong like family relationships that were presented, but I was just kind of hoping for more horror or suspense. And I'm not saying that like every book needs to be like super gory slasher, but this was definitely more literary fiction, family drama, minimal horror elements. Yeah, if you're gonna read this, just know that going into it. And I gave this 3 stars. I think I said that already. And I found this book on TikTok. A girl had posted it. She was sobbing. She was like, I'd never hear anyone talk about this book. And I was like, sold, I'll read it. It's called When Ashes Fall by Marnie Mann. Oh my goodness, this book. I think I was filming a home vlog when I was reading this. I could not put this book down. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I highly recommend everyone go read this. I gave this 5 stars. It was incredible. This is definitely the kind of book you need to go into blind. Says, it's been said that you can't love 2 men at the same time. You can't split your heart, soul, and body in half, but I'm here to tell you, you can. So I went into it being like, what? How can you date 2 people? What's going on? I don't understand. This was just such a beautiful, beautiful book, and it just goes to show that like indie self-published books or books that you haven't seen a lot of people talk about can be some of the best books that you're gonna read this year. Loved how well the author's writing flowed, the story flowed. Her writing style was so captivating. Honestly reminded me of a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. If you love Taylor Jenkins Reid, I think you would really, really enjoy this. It wasn't your typical love triangle, but it was just so good, and I don't want to give too much away, so I definitely say go in blind, but like 5-star read, one of my favorite books of the year for sure so far. I'm gonna start following Destiny Sidwell's like 3 strikes and you're out rule, because the last like 4 Freida McFadden books I've read have just sucked terribly, and I thought this was gonna be a redemption read, and it was not. I read The Housemaid is Watching. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped the second book. The first book was so good to me. The second one, I just was like, eh. And then when I saw that there was a 3rd one coming out, I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just read it. And I think you can read the 3rd without the 2nd. So if you're in the same boat as me, you can read the 3rd without reading the 2nd. I'm gonna give this 2.5 stars, maybe 3 rounded up to be nice. I don't really honestly know how to explain this, but it's basically about Millie, who she got married and they're moving into this new neighborhood. Some of her neighbors are just like weird and creepy, and she's trying to figure out if there's like more to it than that. And like, that's really all I can say without giving anything away. And let me tell you, the book was boring as shit until about like 60% of the way through, okay? Like it was so boring. The reveal was so underwhelming. It also just like didn't even feel like a thriller. I felt like the first half was just like about Millie's new life. You know, I just like didn't want to read about her day-to-day life. I was just like here for the juicy thriller shit. And honestly, it just felt like an unfinished first draft. So do with that what you will, but that's all I have to say on that. And I feel like Freida McFadden is out. Then I read Woman Eating by Claire Coda, which is a literary fiction book. I gave this 2.75 stars. This was just was interesting. This just felt like more of a character study than it did a book, and the premise was really interesting. It was just basically about this like vampire girl in the real world trying to find her place. It was just, like I said, very character driven, no plot vibes only, which I usually enjoy. but I just like didn't really enjoy this book. It wasn't for me. I was kind of thinking I was gonna get something like paranormal vampire action, but instead I just got, like I said, like a character study of a vampire who really wants to be a human in the real world. I just was really bored and wanted to finish it for the sake of finishing it. Then we have Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, which is a 5-star read. The only reason I don't have it in my hand is because they don't have it out in paperback yet, and I don't like buying hardcover thrillers. I did talk about this pretty in depth in the past home vlog, so you can go watch that if you want like a super in-depth review. But this is basically about Lucy, and like 10 years ago, her best friend was murdered, and Lucy was found wandering the streets after. Everyone in the town accused Lucy of murdering her best friend. It never like went to trial or anything. They didn't have enough evidence. So flash forward to today. Lucy's like living her best life in LA, and she goes home to celebrate her grandmother's birthday, and there is a guy who's doing a podcast about her best friend's death. It's called Listen for the Lie. And basically the book is just all about her and this guy from the true crime podcast teaming up to figure out who did it. He doesn't actually think she did it. They're kind of just like working together to figure out who killed her best friend. And I didn't think I'd love this because I haven't had good experience with true crime books before. What's that one by like Ashley Flowers or something like that came out last year? And I've never really read a good one, but this one changed it for me. It was so well done. I could not put this book down. I think I finished it in like a day and a half. It was so good. I really loved that it was short chapters. That really keeps me on the edge of my seat, I find. I really actually loved that the book alternated from Lucy, which is our female main character's POV, to the podcast interviews, and it wasn't confusing. Like, it wasn't confusing Lucy Foley style that I just said like I just get confused about. They were interviewing different people in the town in every chapter, but it never got to a point where it was too confusing. Like, it all kind of made sense. Yeah, I wrote down had a lot of characters, but not in an overwhelming trying to keep track of everyone kind of way. Very much felt like a dark comedy meets murder mystery thriller. So I feel like if you don't like gore or really scary stuff, you would really, really enjoy this. And the pacing was just spot on, and it was honestly just absolutely perfect. There was that. I feel like this was a really good month of reading. And then last book I read was a novel love story, which I said in the Week of My Life at Home last week that I was going to save my review for this. 5-star read, 6-star read, infinite star read. I loved this so much. And this follows our female main character, Elsie. And basically Elsie has this romance series that she absolutely loves. She's read it a million times. She knows it inside and out. And there is this, it's very much like a Gilmore Girl kind of vibe romance series. And the town that the book takes place in is called Ellerton. And basically the author of the book was like young. I think she's about Elsie's age, and she wrote 4 books. And the 4th book kind of ends on like a little bit of a romance cliffhanger, you know, who's going to end up with who. And then the author tragically passes away, so there's no 5th book. And so Elsie's going to her book club. She's like driving across, I don't know, like state or cross country to go to her like yearly book club with her friends. And her car breaks down. Her car breaks down, and it's like a rainy night, and she ends up in this random town in like New York State. She quickly realizes she's in Ellerton, which is the fictional town from the romance book, and she's like, how am I here? I don't really understand it. And basically the male main character in this is like a super grumpy bookstore owner, but he's not in the book. So she's like, where did you come from? I don't know who you are. I will say I'm not seeing the best reviews about it online. However, I think once again, kind of similar to Emily Henry, you have to go in thinking that this is like a contemporary fiction, women's fiction, magical realism book first, and then the romance is a subplot. Because a lot of the reviews I'm seeing are like, oh, there wasn't a lot of romance in this, or like, oh, the romance only starts 60 to 70% of the way through. And I think that's because, like The Dead Romantics, it's very much like a women's fiction, contemporary fiction, magical realism book, and then the romance comes after. I already want to reread it and annotate it. I want every special edition copy of this book that comes out. It very much made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I just felt so giddy and happy and giggly while reading this. Gives me like Wizard of Oz meets Gilmore Girls vibes. And yeah, a lot of the reviews were saying that they were disappointed with the ending and there was a lot of plot holes. I found it to be the opposite. I thought everything kind of got tied together with a bow. I saw this quote on Goodreads and I wanted to mention it because I think it's really accurate. It says, I highly recommend to not go into this expecting solely a romance between 2 people. Yes, it's there and it's lovely and there's a happily ever after, but go into this knowing that this is a love story between you as a reader and romance books. And I think that's all you need to know. Once I'm done reading, the first thing I do is I take out anything that's like a library book and then I put it in a pile to return to the library. And I always get asked my system for books. So I take all the books that I've read recently, and if anything is under, I'd say a 3.5 star, I usually donate it. So like this book, I'll probably donate. I'm obviously keeping, actually I'm going to keep all these because they were all like 4 and 5 star reads. Take a few minutes and just kind of put some books away. This shelf right here, you can't really see it, are like all the books that I've picked up recently that I need to find a home for, or books that I want to read. I'm really excited. I love organizing the bookshelves. All right, you guys, it's currently 3:40. I went outside to go clean my car, but it's so hot outside that I instantly, like, you know, when you walk out and it's just like hot air, I was like, absolutely not, we're not doing this today. I will do that another day before I take my road trip. But I wanted to sit down and kind of close out. I'm kind of late now, the first full week of July now, just close out my June budget. And yeah, I'm not going to screen share this because I've gotten some comments lately that it's blurry. And I noticed that too. Whenever I do my screen recording, it's clear, but then when I import it into Final Cut Pro, it's blurry. So I think just sharing like the little banums on the screen like works just a bit better. And yeah, so June was a low spend month, and I talked about that pretty in depth in my budget with me last month, which I'm gonna bring that back next month. It's just this month I was kind of just, I didn't really feel like it, honestly, so I just didn't. The goal with the low spend obviously was to not spend it all. It was just to be very intentional with things I was buying for myself, like not gas, not groceries, just very intentional with the categories that I felt that not that I was getting out of hand, but I just wanted a bit of a reset and like a little dopamine detox. So I think it did really, really well. Here is my monthly summary. I'll put it up on the board here. And in terms of income, I didn't have to pay myself anything from the business this month, which is always great. I get asked this like in almost every video. I probably sound like a broken record, but there's just always new people here. In Canada, if you are a sole proprietor, which is how most people start with their businesses, that's what I was previously, all of your money that your business makes is put onto your personal taxes. So if you make $80,000 a year and your business makes $80,000 a year, you make $160,000 a year. And as we know, I'm sure it's probably similar in the States. In Canada, you have different tax brackets, so the more money you make, you pay more taxes on like the second half of it or whatever. Yeah. This past year in 2023, I incorporated, which means that my business and personal money is like completely separate entities. So I could make $80,000 at my corporate job and the business could make $80,000, but like I'm only recording $80,000 of personal taxes and then whatever I pay myself as a distribution or a dividend. When I took this part-time job almost 2 years ago now, I hadn't gotten, like, at this point I've been in the job 2 years and I've had a few raises, but previously I went part-time so that I could do more with YouTube and create more content and kind of diversify my income and all that kind of stuff. So I was supplementing my income because I went part-time with work in order to do more with YouTube. So I was supplementing my income, of course. But in the last 2 years, I've gotten a few raises and I'm able to pretty much for the most part still live off of my corporate job. Like my raise that I got a few months ago was like significant. It's like $400 or $500 a paycheck. Like that's a significant amount of money depending on the hours I work because my hours fluctuate. Whenever I say like, oh, I don't have to pay myself from the business, I'm so excited. I genuinely am happy about it because it keeps my personal taxes lowered, right? But if I do need to, I can pay myself a dividend or a distribution. But I try not to as much as possible just so I don't get into the habit of having like I'm really scared of lifestyle creep. So I try to keep it at a minimum and I'm still kind of working out what I want to do in terms of payout. I was previously just doing monthly, like whatever I needed to cover my expenses, I would like transfer as a distribution to myself. But because now I can, for the most part, get by with my corporate job, I think I'm going to start paying myself a quarterly like distribution and divvy that up between like investment, savings, all that kind of stuff. So that was like a long spiel, but that's basically why I'm always so happy when I don't have to pay myself in the business and I can keep it in the business and like reinvest that into new cameras and equipments and items to film videos for you guys. And so 2 paychecks were definitely higher than normal. I have to adjust these budgeted amounts, but because since I got my raise, they are higher. Granted, I do work fluctuating hours, so I always budget off the lowest amount possible. My actual income was a little bit lower than my budgeted income, but I was able to just kind of get by without transferring myself anything like a distribution. That's the income for the month. Okay, let's go over expenses. Like I mentioned, low spend. I feel like I did really well. If you compare previously like what my credit card's been at, it was the main category we were trying to do a low spend in was the miscellaneous shopping, and I feel like I did a really good job with that. Groceries we went over, which is totally fine. We had like a few fancier dinners because as you can see, our eating out budget was pretty low this month. Like we've been buying steaks and stuff to just eat at home. So honestly, at the end of the day, that's fine. I definitely did more of the grocery shopping this month than Matt, but once again, it's all good. Matt and I just like take turns paying for groceries, so I can't really honestly ever budget out our groceries because some months it's $200, some months it's $600. We just take turns. Eating out was pretty low. We just haven't really been eating out a ton. Coffee was a little bit higher, totally okay. Miscellaneous shopping, honestly, that was pretty good. I didn't put what was what, so that's not really helpful, Carter. That's great. I just put like the credit card and the charge, so I don't even know where any of these are from. Like they were all just like little amounts. I'm pretty proud of myself. $17 at Old Navy because I needed to restock on a bunch of flip-flops. I spent $18 on printing wedding photos. Yeah, I feel like I did really good this month, honestly. I'm pretty proud of myself. And then I did do a little bit of thrifting, which I threw in that category because I just got lazy and I didn't put it in the thrifting category, honestly. So I get my nails done once a month. That wasn't something I felt like I had an unhealthy relationship with, so I just kept in there. Car and gas was a lot higher this month. I did grant to take a day trip, and yeah, but it is what it is. Like driving to the city and stuff, I spent a little bit more than usual on gas. And then house and home, I spent $11. I don't know what that was on, but I ordered some frame hooks for the entryway project with that, which technically should have been a business expense since I was doing that for a brand deal. So that was like a little oopsies, but that's okay. In terms of subscriptions and bills, we had our mortgage, obviously, duh. And then our small bills were a lot lower than usual. It's summer, you know, the bills are just lower. So that was great. That was actually cut in half, which is awesome. We had property taxes this month, car payment, car insurance, normal, gym, Netflix. Oh, I need to take out my Kindle Unlimited because I moved that over. Bills were a little bit higher because we had property taxes, but then they were a little bit lower because our small bills were lower. Also had our gutters this month, but that came from a sinking fund, which I just don't even put in here because it equals out to be the same thing. Like if I put in sinking fund in my income $2,000 or $2,500, and then I put an expense gutters $2,500, it's gonna like equal out to be the same thing. So I personally don't put my sinking funds into my budget dashboard. I just track them like manually on a spreadsheet, but you totally can if you want. In terms of savings, it was a pretty low saving month. I definitely could have saved more if I paid myself from the business, but I had a pretty high saving month last month since it was a 3 paycheck month, and I got my back pay, so I was kind of okay just doing the minimums this month. Like you're gonna have high spend months, low savings months, high saving month, low expense months. It just is what it is. So I didn't put any money into my emergency fund this month. I put my normal $50 into the pet sinking fund, and then I just did my investing minimums, which is $250 into my TFSA and $250 into my RSP. Never really talked about this, but this is also the time too that I'll go through like any orders that I've placed. Like I'll go through my expenses like line by line and really just check and see like, do I love this? Do I need to keep this? Because I think sometimes we all do this. We like see something, you know, oh, on Amazon, and we're like, oh, I love that so much, let's get it. And then we like just kind of like it and we don't end up returning it. I just go through all of my expenses for the previous month and really say like, okay, Amazon, what was this? Do you really love it? Do you need to keep it? Because as we all know, we all do some impulse shopping. Okay, that's just life. But I just like to go through everything and just kind of make sure that I still do love it. And I do the same thing for my business too. I go through all of my transactions and just make sure that everything is good. I'm keeping everything. I literally just found a transaction, cord socket for my office that I totally forgot to return in June. So I'm gonna do that. But whew, I wanted to have like a nice lovely walk up to the library to bring my books back. But honestly, it's so warm out that I think I'm just gonna go drive, and I'll also go check the mail, and then Matt should be home soon, and the house is pretty tidy, which is nice. But I'm feeling good. And even though like I'm heading on a road trip at the end of this week, I'm still feeling like very clear and refreshed. And I know that when I get home, like everything will be in order, because there's nothing worse than like getting home from a trip and like everything is chaotic. So feeling good about that. And yeah, we're gonna like go to the post office and stuff. I actually forgot that Matt has plans tonight. He's going to our like local music festival, so it's just me and the girls. And my plan for tonight is to just get back into some good healthy habits, good night routine, staying off my phone, and just having a nice chill night since I think I got a lot done today. So anyways, I'm just hanging in the backyard right now with the girls. Hi! What are you doing? This is my favorite thing in the world. Sitting on the couch, reading my book, snuggling one dog. One dog's over here. Why did you get up?
Zone minute thingies, like where your heart rate is at. My steps are like not a lot because I'm not doing like.
All right, you guys, I'm getting ready for bed. Matt should be on his way home soon. If you're wondering why I haven't vlogged all night, it's because I've been reading this book. I just started it. I'm like almost halfway done. I couldn't put it down. It's so good. I'll tell you guys more about it in the next vlog. It'll be like a home vlog. So good. It's like a comedy murder mystery. It's kind of giving like Finley Donovan vibes. Can't put it down. so incredible. I spent my entire night reading this, and I got some questions in my home vlog asking where a bedding situation was from. So that's Stella's leg just right there. This stripe set is Brooklinen. We love them. And then my sheets are actually from Amazon because I didn't have any Brooklinen ones yet for the king. I honestly really like these. I think the quality is great for like $100 Canadian. We really like sleeping with linen sheets. I feel like, I don't know, we're just like very hot sleepers. It feels very cool. I love the look of linen sheets. I really love them. I feel like if anything, I like to invest in a good duvet cover just with the dogs and stuff. And then, yeah, we kind of just switch out if we use like Brooklinen, Amazon sheets. But I do love Brooklinen. We just don't have any yet. And they were sold out of all the ones that I wanted. But yeah, stripes, Brooklinen, blue, Amazon. I can link it down below. Really going to get in bed and read more of this because I cannot put it down. I've got 2 dogs in the bed with me, even though they're both not supposed to be in here, but it's fine. Good. And yeah, I'm going to keep reading, and I'll chat with you guys in the next vlog.